Welcome to Beyond Death, where we examine near-death experiences from people that say they have died, visited the other side, and came back. Today's NDE is from Brett B., who says he died of multiple heart attacks over a 4-day period and explains his reasoning behind choosing to return to the earthly realm. Let's get into it. I was a very serious athlete all of my life and knew my body very intimately. I knew my injuries and the physical limits I could reach in different sports and activities. I was practicing with my softball team and noticed that all of my muscles were hurting. I was having trouble running and I had no power when I was hitting the ball. This was very odd, as I had always hit with power. The next day, I made an appointment with my doctor to discuss this. The prior situation was extremely out of character for me. My doctor wanted to do blood work and get back to me. The following Tuesday, I received a phone call from him. This was very unusual, since his nurse was always the one to call if there was something to be done or to let me know everything was okay. He quickly told me that my creatine kinase enzymes were at 27,000 when they should only be at a 3-figure number. The normal range for creatine kinase enzymes is 32 to 267 units per liter of blood. The doctor told me to leave work right then and to check myself into the hospital. That this phone call had indeed happened and that the urgency was clear compelled me to obey. I left work and checked into the hospital at 3:30 p.m. 3 hours later, I suffered the first of the 6 heart attacks I would experience over a 4-day period. When I suffered the first heart attack, I had been talking with my roommate and his wife. Apparently, I just stopped talking. They knew something was wrong then and called for a nurse and a crash cart, a medical trolley set up with the emergency equipment required to assist in heart attack cases. I was out for a couple of minutes before they brought me back. The following morning, I was talking and sitting up as the doctor was telling me what they were going to do as far as tests go. As my family and I listened, I experienced a cold feeling, knew that I was going to pass out, and fell back against my pillow. Again, I was gone for a couple of minutes before they could pull me back. During this attack, I was aware that something was wrong and a lot of people were in the room. Now the doctor said that they needed to get me into the intensive care unit. During the periods that I was awake, I felt okay and was conversing with my family. My cell phone rang and I answered it to find it was one of my supervisors calling to see how I was doing. As we were talking, I got that cold feeling again and told my supervisor that I had to go and handed the phone to a nurse as I began to take a laid-out position. This time, the experience was much more involved in that I knew I was clinically dead and floating just above the bed by a few inches. After one hit with the paddles of a heart defibrillator that gives a high-voltage electric shock to the person having a heart attack, in order to restore the heart's beating rhythm, I was now in my bedroom in the house where I was last married. I felt that I had done something wrong and asked my then-wife, now my ex, why there were so many medical people in our bedroom. Another shock with the paddles, and I was in a black void with nothing but my thoughts. I thought I wasn't going to come back from this one, and my thoughts told me I was gone from this world. Then I was given a full-strength shock with the paddles and found myself awake, but very groggy. I was stable for a couple of minutes when again